Community is an NBC sitcom made by Rick and Morty creator Dan Harmon. The show follows a diverse Spanish study group as they navigate their way through wacky hijinks at Greendale Community College. This is hands down my favorite show probably ever. I have rewatched it about 10 to 15 times, and every rewatch I notice something new about the show. One of my favorite things about the show is the characters, specifically the absurdity of their personalities. This absurdity causes many characters to be classified as insane throughout the entirety of the show. However, none of the characters are called insane more than Ben, Chang, and Abed Nadir. So, are these characters actually crazy? And what does being crazy in the show even mean? Sorry, wrong intro. Well, the words insane and crazy are used in various different contexts to describe various different behaviors. However, it does still have some consistency to it. Generally, it's used to describe unusual, irrational, and unpredictable behavior, as well as large or odd reactions to events. Such as in Season 1, Episode 13, where Chang fakes his death.
Now, I know the news of Senior Chang's death over winter break was a shock to us all.
Feliz Año Nuevo, chicas. I'm a man who can never die.
Where a character played by Jack Black kicks Jeff Winger in the face in an attempt to impress the group.
Bottom line, you guys need a chubby, agile guy. I'm fat and I'm physical, okay? I'm strong, and I can kick. Oh!
No, it's fine. It's just a little nosebleed. I get them when it's dry and when my face gets kicked.
And Season 3, Episode 19, where Abed freaks out about the entire concept of daylight savings.
It's okay, buddy. Just a few more minutes and we're good until spring, okay?
But it doesn't make any sense.
Think of it this way. We'll get the hour back later in the year.
While both Abed and Chang consistently show behavior that matches this definition, only one of them is truly insane. But which one of them is it? Let's start off with Abed. He was the first to be depicted as crazy in the very first episode. Throughout the episode, he constantly refers to the Breakfast Club and states that their circumstances are just like the Breakfast Club.
We are in a library.
In the middle of a very loud argument between the members of the study group, Abed quotes word for word a direct line from the Breakfast Club in order to get everybody to be quiet.
I'll just take it along. You know what I got for Christmas? It was a banner year at the Bender family. I got a carton of cigarettes. The old man grabbed me and said, "Hey, smoke up, Johnny."
No, Dad, what about you?
That actually was from the Breakfast Club.
Now, no one ever specifically stated that he was crazy, but based on their reactions, they were absolutely thinking it. Not only that, but this was also an unusual reaction to events, and was absolutely irrational behavior, which are both parts of the definition of crazy that we established. Another event of Abed being crazy is Season 3, Episode 22, where he becomes evil Abed when Britta tries to help him through therapy.
You say your name is Evil Abed, and you come from...
The darkest timeline. I've crossed into your dark timeline, and now I'm going to darken it.
This switch to evil Abed eventually tries to make him cut Jeff's arm off with a bone saw.
Evil Abed, what are you doing? I'm going to cut off Jeff Winger's arm. I won't let you. That's horrible. Don't you mean dark? Welcome to my world. Cool. I went crazy and I wanted to cut off Jeff's arm.
All for the sake of making this timeline the darkest. Now, this is undeniably irrational and unpredictable behavior. I think the biggest example of Abed being portrayed as insane is Season 3, Episode 19. In this episode, the cold open is Abed being brought back to his, Annie, and Troy's apartment after being expelled from Greendale.
See? Cool. Abed brought delicious police.
Found your friend going through the dumpster outside the administration building in Greendale again.
Our friend has been having a hard time adjusting to being expelled from Greendale.
I talked to your former dean. I recommended he press charges. He said he'd hold off on the condition that you set an appointment with this guy.
It's the number for a psychiatrist.
What? No, Abed's not crazy. Where does the dean get off?
He's not the real Dean. He's been replaced by an identical life form for some nefarious purpose.
Not only is his rambling about the dean being replaced insane on its own, but this also causes the study group to be sent to group therapy. In this therapy, the group just says that Abed's a little unique, and we are shown various clips in the same style as a clip show, displaying Abed's uniqueness, which is just the definition of craziness that we have already established. The therapist, Dr. Heidi, says that Abed is insane and he needs to be committed into a mental institution. The rest of the episode is used for the study group to try to explain that Abed is not that crazy, because either he's just more sane than the rest of them, or they're all equally insane. Heidi then reveals to the study group that they never attended Greendale Community College. Instead, they were just sharing a shared psychosis while being inside Greendale Asylum. Okay, so Abed is insane. Case closed. Psychologist diagnosed. Right? No. Because at the end of the episode, it was revealed that Dr. Heidi was a fake psychologist hired by the one and only Benjamin Franklin Chang. Plus, in Season 3, Episode 3, Britta makes the study group take psych evaluation tests for her psychology class. And later in the season, in Episode 5, we are revealed what those results were. And there was only one test that came back as sane. And that one sane result was Abed Nadir. And with that, we move on to the second contender, Ben Chang. He is the one known as insane, starting late in Season 1 when he gets exposed for not speaking Spanish despite being a Spanish teacher, as well as generally being a fraud.
So I did what anyone would do. Faked my way into a job as a Spanish teacher at a community college, relying on phrases from Sesame Street.
And when Professor Duncan mocks him for getting fired, well...
Senor Chang, is there a word in Spanish for someone who used to pretend to be a professor, but was a teacher, but wasn't actually a teacher, and is now a student? Is there a word for that? Oh, if it was in Spanish, you wouldn't know, would you? Up. Hit a professor, he'll get expelled.
I will find a loophole, then I'll kill you.
Another great example of Chang's insanity are the events of Season 3. In Episode 12, Chang, as head of security at Greendale, hires an army of 12-year-old boys to be security guards. This army is used in Episode 18 against a Greendale riot that occurs after a student dies. These preteens pepper spray and severely injure the Greendale students, all at Chang's command. He finds the study group, or the Greendale 7, guilty for causing the riot. And with the power the dean granted him, he takes over Greendale and expels the Greendale 7. And when Chang takes over Greendale, he replaces the dean with a doppeldeaner, which was what Abed was rambling about in episode 19 that made him get classified as insane. Plus, Chang and his tyrannical rule over Greendale, shown in episode 21, is just generally nuts, forcing people to give him weird, culty birthday gifts.
Chang eats the sun and drinks the sky.
Having 12-year-old bodyguards. And having Chang propaganda posters just everywhere. Eventually, at the end of the episode, he's caught trying to blow up the school's files and makes a run for it. He isn't seen again until Season 4, specifically the end of Episode 1, where he is seen giving a note to a mailman that reads, "My name is Kevin, I have Changnesia." The Changnesia arc. This is the most damning piece of evidence for Chang being the insane one. This is when he comes back to Greendale with no recollection of what he did in Season 3. This is the focus of the 6th episode of Season 4, where his Changnesia, or Kevin's disease, is studied by doctors, and more importantly, those at Greendale in a documentary format. The goal of this episode is to get a grant from the MacGuffin Neurological Institute to help study Changnesia. In reality, Dean Pelton just wants the grant money, but I digress. We eventually learn that Chang faked this entire thing with this interaction between Chang and Abed.
Here's another thing I realized. Because of you, we got to reinvent ourselves at Greendale. Everyone should have the same chance, don't you think? Chang?
It's not Chang, it's Kevin. How long have you known?
Known what?
We never learn why Chang did this, but honestly, I don't think he had a reason. If he is insane, then he might just have done this because he felt like it. So even though Abed certainly has some abnormal behavior, the truly insane one is Ben Chang. Even Abed's most irrational behavior is really just the fault of Chang and his autism, but the fault of Chang. So in the end, doesn't that just make Chang more insane?
Greendale's a forgiving place.
It really is.
Please keep that in mind the next 20 seconds. Remember that people can Chang.
People can what?
Hi, I'm Kevin.
He has Changnesia.